Welcome everybody to the Man Cave. I'm Rafael Elia.
And I'm John Jackson, and what we have today, some baseball. And we actually have a special topic we want to talk about, something that doesn't have anything to do with the current events of, specifically this week, last week or anything, but specific events of this whole year, last year, and defensive shifts. Because that's become a big problem for some teams, and a big help for other teams. So we're going to give our takes on it and see, should they stay, should they go?
Well, between that kind of argument, we've had the DH argument and this defensive shift argument. Those have been pretty much the two most prominent ones in the league. So we got to touch on defensive shifts because we were going to talk about it a couple weeks ago. We didn't end up talking about it, but I don't know, we had a change of heart this week.
Yeah.
Basically, defensive shifts, I can't really complain about them because they're the rule. You can't say, I hate defensive shifts when they happen because it's a rule.
Exactly.
But as far as them being a rule, I think that it should be illegal. I think I would enjoy the game more if it were illegal. I shouldn't say it shouldn't be illegal. But I would enjoy the game a lot more if it were legal. If it were illegal. So that's how I'll start mine.
Yeah, so you kind of started with, it's good in this way, but I overall hate it.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I would like the game a lot more if it wasn't there. But I'm not going to say, I respect anyone who says that it's fine the way it is. Like, it's not the biggest issue on my agenda.
Yeah.
But if I had a preference and if I had a choice, yeah, I'd have it illegal.
So I'm going to agree with him saying that, yes, I feel the game would be more interesting. However, I take a different stance in that I think it should be legal because think about it like this, right? If you have a good team, you should be able to fight the defensive shifts. You should be able to hit over them, hit home runs instead of these singles going into, the right side of the field, infield. Then there's guys like Lucas Duda who gets out all the time from these shifts, but if you just bunted down the left field line, you would get a hit each time, and then the shift would not be there anymore. Okay, so you could fight the shift if you were good enough. So that's why I think the shift should stay, but what do you say?
Well, that's the typical argument that people make, is that, and that's not, obviously that's how you do it. That's how you defeat the shift. Yeah. That's the argument of how to defeat the shift. But that's not going to make the game any better. In fact, that's going to make the game 10 times more boring because I don't want to see bloop singles to the left side of the outfield or bunts down the line because that's what this game has come down to.
But see, the bunts down the line, that's temporary.
It's not going to be temporary, though, because a hitter can't just say, let me bunt down the line, then everyone's going to shift over. Because in the end, you'll take Lucas Duda bunting it down the line as opposed to hitting 30 home runs a year. It's just, if that's what the game comes down to, obviously if he wants to pull the ball, that's how he's going to hit his home runs. But half the time he's going to hit home runs, the other half of the time he's going to ground out to the second baseman, who happens to be in shallow right field. But you're saying let's just bunt down the line for the first 10 games of the season until people get scared and realize, you know what, let's keep the third baseman down that line and still have the shortstop all the way on the right side, because then you're going to have to say, okay, Lucas Duda, now you have a big opening in the middle of the field, hit it there. When does that come to be too much? And Lucas Duda's like, you know what, forget about this, I'm going to just keep trying to pull it and do what I've been doing. It eliminates a lot of offense.
Yeah, I know, but still, like I said, you can defeat it by bunting it down. I'm not saying bunt it down every time. I'm saying once you start getting a reputation for fighting the shift, if you have a runner on second or something like that, and there's 2 outs, if he bunts it down and gets the runner to third then, or let's just say 1 out to make it more, clutch, more interesting, more clutch for the next batter.
You're trying to make something that's inherently boring.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is they're going to be very careful if they know Duda can do that, especially if it's a big situation, but even if it's a 1-run game, they don't want any runners on. They're not going to be having that defensive shift if they know Duda or any player. I don't want to keep picking on Duda, but any player.
You have a runner on, but in most of these pull hitter cases, you have a runner on that runs at a snail's pace. So really, I'll take Duda on first as opposed to letting him pull the ball. Like, I'll take him at first. You get a better chance for a double play at that. But it just, in the argument people are making for baseball is, and it's really very hypocritical, because people are arguing the pace of play is too slow. Baseball's boring, this, and this. And I take it personally, obviously. I'm sure you do as well, because I love baseball. I know you love baseball. You know, lay off of the sport. This is the way it's supposed to be played. Play it, right? And if you don't like the sport, don't take it out on the sport, you know? It's just the fact that you don't like it. But people are arguing, make baseball faster, make it more offense, make it this, make it that. And yet people are okay with the shift in that same sense. Even though that's doing the same thing, it's taking offense away from the game. It's going to make it more boring, because in the end, you're going to have these bloop singles to left instead of shot to right.
I have something for you then. So you believe in the fact that it should be fun, more offense and things like that. Am I wrong?
Baseball's fine the way it was.
No, but I'm saying the defensive shifts, if you get rid of them, it'll make it more interesting, and that's a plus for you, right?
As long as baseball is getting more popular.
Okay, so you were okay then with the steroid era? The fact that
the
it's more
steroid
fun?
era saved baseball.
Exactly, so you're okay with that, right?
I'm very much okay with it, yes.
See, I completely disagree, because I feel, I don't care if it's more interesting, if it's cheating, it's cheating.
It's cheating is cheating.
Bad.
But, listen, I agree, the steroids are bad, steroid era was a bad thing. It was a bad thing that had to happen for baseball to have survived, or else baseball wasn't getting through that point, because we already see the steroid era gave it a big jump start, and now we're already seeing the decline now. And this is what, 10 years removed from it, and we're starting to see the decline already. Had that steroid era not taken place, you know what kind of decline we'd be in right now. It'd be terrible.
Something else could have happened, though. Could have got more interesting from other things.
It definitely would not have, because what we're arguing now is for defensive shifts would take away offense. So you're saying things would go the opposite direction. It certainly would not have gone the opposite direction. It would have kept going this down south offensively. But the steroid era, I agree, is a bad thing, and I can't believe we jumped to that. But
I know. I can bring in another thing too, but
I agree with you, and you could get me on that, but you're not, because I'll stick by that, because I love baseball as a sport. And the fact that you needed steroids for it to survive is disgusting, because people need to realize that baseball is a great sport, and if you don't realize that, then I can't help you. But the fact that it saved baseball, I'm not going to take that away, because I love baseball, and I'm not gonna defend the steroid era, but I will say that as long as baseball was jumped by that and it didn't decline by that, I'm fine with it.
But I feel baseball also is taking more interest. I don't know in the last year or two, but I know the last few years it's been more interest in baseball, and it's not really because of power. We haven't seen a lot of that, but it's because there's a lot of strikeouts now. Now you see guys who have chances for 20, 15 strikeout games.
You're looking at it from a baseball fan's perspective. Baseball fans love the strikeout. We love the home run and we love the strikeout. Those are the two biggest things in baseball for a fan. But if you're not a fan of baseball, you want to see the ball hit. And so striking out people, that's not going to get any interest. You know, a pitcher taking 5 minutes to shake off a pitch, and then throw a pitch that ends up swung on and miss. That may excite me and you, but a guy from the outside won't see it the same way. And I agree with you on all of these points, that's what baseball should be, but that's just not what it is. And it's sad, but that's just what it is. Okay. Player of the week.
Player of the week. So,
and be sure to weigh in on these on our Man Cave Twitter, @ManCaveNYSports, and just get in on this conversation, or leave it in the comments section below. And also weigh in on our player of the week. And who's your player of the week? Mine is John Lester, pitcher, Chicago Cubs.
The guy's stats right here, which is why I took out my phone.
Our stat man, our saber.
So he had two starts. He went 9 innings and 8 innings. Got a win in both starts. That's a total over the course of the week from June 1st to June 8th today, although we don't count today, so June 7th you could say.
Yeah.
He had 2 wins, the 17 innings. He also had 4 hits in both, so a total of only 8 hits in 17 innings. He had 19 strikeouts between those 2 games. He had no walks in either of those games, and he only gave up a combined 1 run in both those games.
19-0 strikeout to walk ratio.
So I completely agree with Raphael's pick. That was a great pick. Best pitcher of the week. from June 1st to June 7th.
And we'll go from best pitcher of the week to clearly the best hitter of the week.
In Mark
And that's
Trumbo.
John's pick.
That was my pick, Mark Trumbo. Here's his stats as well from, again, June 1st, June 7th. He went 11 for 26. That's a 423 batting average. But along with that batting average, he had 10 runs, 5 home runs, and 11 RBI. That's more home runs than some players have their whole season in this 1 week, just to show you how good he's been over this week. Now, we do have our correspondent, Ethan
listen,
Illers.
we're going from the best pitcher of the week, obviously. Best hitter of the week, clearly. So obviously he has to search outside baseball to find his player of the week, yes?
But our correspondent from Missouri, Ethan Illers, did not. He picked another hitter, and his name is Matt Carpenter from the St. Louis
To
Cardinals.
compete with those Trumbo stats, it's going to have to be
It's going to have to be great, right?
Yeah.
So these are his stats. Matt Carpenter, he went 7 for 20 for a 350 batting average, not bad.
He had to have had a lot of home runs, yeah?
Oh, no, no home runs.
Oh, but he definitely hit at least 10, 15 RBIs.
No, only 3 RBI.
He stole at least 10 bases. this
0
year.
bases stolen, and 4 runs. So we questioned his pick, but Ethan out in Missouri is watching a lot of Cardinal games, so that's his second favorite team aside from the Yankees, so I guess that's why he picked them.
Ethan, if you're going to pick somebody that goes along with your fandom, at least pick Carlos Beltran, who's had a decent week, or CeCe Sabathia, who's had a better week, or possibly Brett Gardner, who's had a better week. Starlin Castro's had a better week, okay? And Starlin Castro's been in the biggest slump of his career in this past month stretch. Okay? So, no. This
He's
is not
just
okay.
going off on him.
This is not okay? Next week, though, you have another chance.
To
Until
redeem
then,
yourself.
I'm Raphael Leah.
And I'm John Jackson, and this has been the Man Cave.